So big picture, within each context form, you're going to see the same types of questions repeated. There are only 5 types of questions. Again, look at that reporting guide for more info and for the exact wording of these questions for statewide activities specifically. So on each context form, you'll see reach, which is the number of people reached by PSE change, stage of work, which could be either building relationships, working on PSE change, or made at least one PSE change for each activity. A description of the PSE change for each activity. So that's a text box, and you're going to describe the change or changes, and that'll show up for sites that made at least one PSE change in that activity. So that one relates to the question above, the stage of work. And then these last 2 here are only for statewide activities. So fidelity, that's a checkbox list of best practice implementation components. And structural change, a checkbox list of specific targeted PSE changes. So again, those 2 have specific questions for each statewide activity, tailored to each activity. Okay, so yeah, we wanted to just give a little more detail on reach since it is tricky. Yes, Marguerite, the fidelity and structural change is a new type of question, as well as description of PSE change. So definitely take a look at the guide so that you know ahead of time what kind of questions you'll be asked to answer in REDCap. Well, they're new as of March. They're new this year. Yeah. So reach again is defined as the number of people reached by PSE change. And there are 3 ways that we calculate reach. It's very like contextually dependent. So if the partner site is a childcare, workplace, or school setting, then you'll enter the number of children at the childcare site, the number of employees at the workplace site, or the school district ID. If the partner site is a community or healthcare setting, then there are different definitions for each activity. For some activities with activity-based reach, you'll enter the number of people estimated reached according to that activity's definition. And for other community or healthcare setting partner site activities with population-based reach, you'll instead enter the name of the town, cities, or counties reached. It's important to note that REDCap will ask a reach question for every site, regardless of if PSE change occurred yet. And so we know that that means that reach is potential and that it's an estimate. So please still report that potential reach according to the definitions for the selected context and activity, even if no PSE change has happened yet. We plan to report the reach of sites that made PSE change, but we want to capture the full potential reach as well. I'm going to finish this up and then I'll address the question in the chat. So in the reporting guide, you can see 2 tables listing the reach definition for each activity in the community and healthcare settings. This will be helpful for you to review ahead of time so you can consider any information to collect, such as the number of patients at a clinic or organization, depending on what the activities are. So the REDCap system uses display logic to show the appropriate reach questions according to the activities selected for each partner site, and that logic is using these definitions.